Hi guys, I am going to get my eyebrows microbladed today and I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous, you guys. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while, but just, I don't know, didn't have the guts to go through with it before. I've been doing like tons and tons of research and looking at tons and tons of pictures and videos and all that stuff. And I finally decided that I'm going to go ahead and do it. So for those of you who don't know, microblading is a form of semi-permanent makeup for your eyebrows to give them a more full appearance. So I have been stalking tons of microbladers, if that's the word for it, in Toronto. And there was one in particular that really stood out to me. I thought that her work was impeccable. Like every single picture I looked at, I liked. So I decided to go with her. Her name is Trudy T, and her Instagram is Permanent Makeup Toronto, and her work is just flawless. Like every single picture looks good, looks very natural, and so I decided to go with her, even though she's like the most expensive in Toronto. The average going rate for microblading in Toronto is about $350 plus tax, which includes one touch-up. Her rate is $640 plus tax, and it does not include a touch-up. You have to pay $60 for a touch-up if you need anything done. So even though she's twice as much, for me, like when it comes to physically altering something permanently, semi-permanently, on my body, that's not the time I'm looking for a deal, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I'm willing to look for deals on clothes and shoes and makeup stuff I can take off, but since her work will not be able to be taken off, I'm not really willing to look for a deal. Like I haven't had plastic surgery yet, but I already know who my surgeon is, and it had nothing to do with price. That's just how I am. You know what I mean? That's not the time to be shopping for deals, girl. IMO. So my goal with microblading is not to never have to fill in my brows again. I am perfectly okay with filling in my brows when I'm wearing a full face of makeup. My goal is basically to look more polished when I'm barefaced, like right now. And most of the time, if you guys follow me on my vlog channel, you know that majority of the week I'm barefaced. I don't wear makeup often. So these are my brows up close and personal. And I'm fresh faced, nothing on them. So I do have brow hairs. They're just very faint. Now when I beat my face, my brows are like the number one most complimented feature on me. So I don't think that anybody can slay my brows like me, which is why I'm nervous. But I'm willing to take the risk in the name of self-improvement. So I'm going to fill in my brows right now. She said that I could come with filled in brows or not. It's up to me. But I'm going to go ahead and fill them in just so she sees the shape that I sort of like. And I typically go for a soft arch. I follow my natural shape, but I don't go for a very high arch. This is like the one time that I have to fill in my eyebrows perfectly because I just feel like I need her to know. You know what I'm saying? The other thing I want to emphasize to her is I don't want like a blocky start. Like I want to make sure there's as few strokes at the front as possible. Like that. Like I want a very faded in look. I'm going for very natural, guys. I'm going for natural. Like I said, I'm completely okay with filling in my brows when I'm wearing it. All right, I made it downtown to my destination at Yonge and St. Clair. The boy came with me for moral support. Brows. I'm trying to catch the light. I don't know where the light is. Maybe right there. It's overcast. You guys, my brows are done. These are my day 2 brows, and they've already started to darken up, which is exactly what my brow artist told me that they would do. So if you look really closely, you can see that they're actually scabbing. Yeah, they've started to scab, so the scab is actually going to make them appear darker until the scab comes off, and she did say that the scabbing process would probably last 7 days. But this is how I'm looking on day 2. Okay, this is actually day 5 of the healing process. It is flaking quite a lot. So if I can come in close, you can see that it's very flaky and scabby. But I was told not to pick them off, let them just fall off on their own. So I'm just leaving it as is. And they're starting to get itchy. So I have to kind of do the pat your weave, ladies, pat, pat, pat your weave, ladies, on my eyebrows. Okay, so this is day 8, and my brows are still scabbing. My brow artist told me that the scabbing process typically lasts 7 days, but it can go up to 14. And she said if after 14 days I still have a scab, I should gently remove it. But until then, just leave it alone and let it fall off naturally. So that's what I'm doing. And I've lost, you can see this area where the scabs come off. I'm back. Today is day 11 and my brows are healed, you guys. The scab has completely come off on its own. And so these are the final look of my brows. So as you can see, they look great. I love them. Because I have oily skin, my lines healed blurry. I got those blurred lines. So it gives more of a shaded look. And because I have actual hair, I think it looks very natural. So I'm very, very happy with the final outcome. So here's what I look like with no makeup. As you can see, I have brows. Like, it's obvious that I have brows on my face, whereas sometimes when I come to you guys without makeup, it's very faint. You can't really see my brows, particularly with my studio lights and on camera. So I'm very, very happy with this, with the fact that you can now see my brows when I'm barefaced, which was the whole point of this. And I know a lot of people are not going to get it. They're going to say, Toni, why would you spend all that money and still have to fill in your brows? But I just didn't want to look like the beginning of a makeup tutorial. You guys know what I'm talking about. The, hey guys, I'm going to do a full beat today. I've already filled in my brows. So if you want to see a full tutorial, click the link below. You know that look. I didn't want to look like I did my brows and just didn't do the rest of my makeup. So I was going for more of a very subtle change. And so I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy with the results. So I'm going to go put some makeup on and show you what they look like with makeup, not filled in. Hey guys, I'm back to give you my experience all about microblading. So it's a little less than 2 weeks later and my brows are done, you guys, and I want to share my experience with you. So as I said earlier, I went to Trudy of Natural Impressions. Her website is naturalimpressions.biz, and you can find her on Instagram at Permanent Makeup Toronto. I followed her for a very long time before I finally decided to take the plunge and get my eyebrows microbladed. She's located downtown Toronto, or midtown Toronto, I guess, and I arrived early for my appointment. She greeted me. She was very friendly, and she was finishing up with another client, and maybe about 15 minutes later, she brought me into the room. So the room was very clean, very tranquil sort of setting. There was like some classical music going on in the background, so that was very pleasant. And the first thing she did, I went with my brows filled in. She told me that I liked how I filled in my brows because I followed my natural shape, so it would work perfectly for what she had in mind. And then she wiped my brows clean, disinfected the area, and applied numbing cream. The numbing cream has to stay on for half an hour to numb the area prior to the procedure. So I just chilled out in the room for half an hour with this numbing cream and sort of saran wrap on my eyebrows. She also put a hairnet to cover my hair. After the half hour had elapsed, she came back in the room, took the numbing cream off, and we started the sort of consultation / drawing of the eyebrow. She explained to me that because I have oily skin, my lines would heal more blurred. So I wouldn't have as crisp hairline look, but more of a shadowed look. So I was perfectly okay with that. I told her that I wanted it more faint in the front and darker in the back. And yeah, once we finished the consultation, which took about 20 minutes, and I okayed the outline, the shape, we began the actual tattoo process. She mixed up my color, and because I said I wanted more natural, she went with a medium to dark brown. And then she began the procedure. Now, because she had numbed the area, I didn't really feel anything. It's not actually a painful process. You can hear the blade going through, which is kind of an odd sensation because you can't feel it, but you can hear it. So that was kind of weird. The only place that the numbing cream didn't really take was like around my tail area. So that part I could feel the blade. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say the pain level was about maybe a 4 to a 4.5. So still definitely tolerable, way less painful than menstrual cramps, which we all have, well, which most of us have every month. One other thing that I want to mention that really stood out to me was that she wore, I don't even know what to call it, not a mask, but it almost looked like an upside down plastic visor. So it went around like her neck, and then a little shield that came up and covered her mouth so that she wasn't breathing or spitting or anything into your face or your brows while she was doing the procedure. The reason that stood out to me is, like I said, I've researched for so long before I finally decided to do it, and I've never seen any other brow artist wear that. So I really want to point that out because super thumbs up for cleanliness / hygiene. So that was amazing. The actual tattooing process only took about 15 minutes. So your entire time that you're there will vary between an hour to an hour and a half, but the actual tattoo process is the shortest time. The longest time is just numbing the area and then the consultation. After she finished the tattoo, she let the ink sit for maybe about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, came back in, wiped it off, and I was done. And I looked in the mirror and I absolutely loved them. I love the shape. They were very crisp. The lines were very crisp, but as you guys can see over the course of my healing period, they did soften up. So as you can see, they still look great even with makeup. Now, if I want to sort of sharpen up the look to go with my completed face, of course I can go in and just, you know, fill in the areas that I need to. Just to give it a more defined look with makeup. So you can see the difference with this and this, which is a bit more natural. So overall, I love it. I love the outcome. Let me just finish this eyebrow, girl. So I love it because it takes very little work to fill them in now when I'm doing a full face, but when I'm not wearing a full face, I don't look like I just didn't finish my makeup. I don't have those, you know, block brows pre-makeup tutorial. I have a very soft, just frames my face, kind of wake up pretty type of brow, and I'm super, super happy with it. So I think I covered everything, but if you are interested in learning more, I definitely encourage you to do your research. That's what I did. I researched for at least a year before I got them done. I will put the link to Trudy in the description box. You can check out her website, which is also very, very informative. You can read about FAQs, what to do before your appointment, what to do after your appointment, the healing process, aftercare, cost, all of that stuff will be down below. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.